What's going on, lads and lasses? So it looks like Martin Dubravka is staying at Newcastle United after what Eddie Howe has said in the post-match press conference last night after the game against Bromley at St James's Park. And I've got to say, I am really happy to hear that because Martin Dubravka has been doing a fantastic job between the sticks forward since taking over from Nicky Pope, as Pope has been out injured. And I think it would be a bit of a bad move for us to be letting Martin Dubravka leave when we're doing so well with him in between the sticks as well. Obviously, we do have other goalkeepers that could go in as well, like Odie and of course Mark Gillespie. But to say that, Eddie Howe didn't decide to go with Odie in the cup, maybe the guy's not ready yet. But for me, Odie is a really good goalkeeper. But Martin Dubravka is doing some fantastic stuff right now for us. So, I wouldn't want to change it up too much. I can see why Eddie Howe did go with Martin Dubravka in the cup last night. Because, you don't want to change the team up when we're on such a good thing at the moment. At the moment, we are currently on 8 consecutive wins. We've got a chance to make that 9 on Wednesday when we play against Wolves, of course. So I can see why Eddie Howe wouldn't change the goalkeeping situation up and why he would be, so desperate to keep Martin Dubravka at the club as well. The only thing I do see on this one that is a little bit unfair in a way to Martin Dubravka is that, he's obviously already made up moves to go over to Saudi Arabia. He was going to be moving to, of course, Al-Shabaab and reportedly going to be getting a pretty decent wage. But you could see, by the emotional goodbyes in the game down at the Emirates in the League Cup semi-final first leg, you could see that Martin Dubravka doesn't really want to leave. So, maybe this is the good move and the right move to be making, the right decision to be making to keep Martin Dubravka on until the end of the season. But I'm all for it. It's a great move. The lad's doing really well for it. And to be honest, in my opinion, he should probably, see out his days with Newcastle United. He's been here that long, about 7 or 8 years now. He's been at Newcastle United, maybe even longer than that. So for me, that is a brilliant move. Obviously, last night we got to see Lewis Miley returning back into the first team picture as well, getting his first start in over a year. He got himself a goal as well, fantastic goal that equalised the game for him. Got back into the game against Bromley as well. Strong performance. You can see the lad has come on leaps and bounds, since being out injured. And it's nice to see, young Louis Miley back into the setup as well and doing well once again. Hopefully he gets more game time this season. But with what's going on in that midfield at the moment of Bruno, Sandy, and of course, Joe Linton as well, it's going to be tough, to see the young lad getting in there and getting some minutes. But I'm sure Eddie will find a way to get him in. After that performance that he put in against Bromley, he's going to be pushing himself to get in there. And of course, we're seeing some brilliant performances as well from some other players last night as well, the likes of William Masula, scoring his first goal for Newcastle United. I thought he did really well in the game last night as well, and put in a really good effort when it came time for him to get that goal in the game as well. Fantastic goal, well taken by him, and he's going to be pushing on for chances in the team as well. But that is going to be tough as well with Isak doing so well up top. But with Callum Wilson out injured, you never know. William Masula might be getting a chance, to now play in a rotation style and go in there from time to time, and ease up the game load, the workload on, of course, Alexander Isak. But talking about transfers, Almiron looks like he could be on his way out. It looks like he might have played his last game for Newcastle United last night. I've got to say, he didn't look all that, great. He didn't look like he put in a really good shift at all. There was a few players that I thought didn't really put in a good shift last night. Longstaff was another one of them. You know, I thought Longstaff and Almiron were really off the pace last night, and Lloyd Kelly didn't seem to be too good neither in the first beginnings. He did seem to get his feet into the game a little bit more, but you know, just a few players that I think won't be here for very long or very much longer if they continue to put in performances like they did last night. And Almiron has been, you know, a player that has been on the lips of a lot of us Newcastle United fans and a lot of media outlets out there for a long time now, that he could be moving away from Newcastle United. I mean, I think not offence to Almiron, but I think we'll have surpassed the point where Almiron is, you know, the player that we need on that right wing. I mean, Murphy is well ahead of him, in my opinion. What Murphy's been doing this season is absolutely amazing. He's really excelled this season, Murphy, ahead of Almiron, and I think Almiron's finding it tough to break in there alongside Murphy. So I think this may be, you know, the window where we do see Almiron move on. And with this recent talk, you know, coming from the Times saying that, you know, Almiron is edging closer to leaving Newcastle United, I think this is the time that he will be, of course, leaving Newcastle United. But it's all down to the talk of the wages at the moment. And, of course, that fee. It's the wage fee that's being rumoured for Almiron is around the 10 to 12 million mark is what's being talked about, which isn't bad when you consider, you know, the age of Almiron, how long he's been here, what he's done for the club as well. We did bring him in for 20 million back a little while ago, so it would be a drop down from what we paid for him. But I mean, for what it is, it's going to be going back into the coffers. It's going to help with, you know, with that FFP, PSR problems that we're having at the moment, and like most teams are having in the Premier League at the moment. But a lot of clubs are interested in Almiron. There is a widespread interest from the likes of America, Brazil, Europe as well. Plenty of clubs are interested in him, and a lot of people may think that's a bit, you know, daft. But Almiron is a really good player. He's just not the player that Newcastle United need right now. We need to be moving him on, and we need to be trying to get as much back of that 20 million as we can to, of course, allow for more leg room in that FFP PSR department. But let us know your thoughts anyway down in the comments below. Of course, last night was a really great win against Bromley. We didn't really look that convincing at first, but then, you know, we sort of got ourselves back into the game there. But you can hear my thoughts on that one on the match reaction video. But let us know your thoughts about everything said in today's video. I mean, do you think it's the right move for Martin Dubravka to stay? And do you think, you know, Almiron is destined to move away from Newcastle United in this window? And also, what was your thoughts on Lewis Miley last night, of course, and you know what is in store for Lewis Miley as well going forward? I mean, this lad has showed some promise since coming into the team last season, having to play the games in the Champions League against like PSG. You know, he was really tearing her up against the likes of Mbappe in the Champions League last season, and it's nice to see he put in a really strong performance last night, and hopefully we do get to see more out of young Lewis Miley in the squad in the coming games ahead. But till next time, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. However, lads.